Alrighty, here we go. We're live. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is Nerdiness. I'm Shade. You guys are awesome. And it's really awesome to see a couple of you on already. You kind of beat me to the punch, which is amazing. So, tonight's session. So last night we went and did the DLC to recruit Shale. That went pretty smooth. We also did the Soldier's Peak DLC, which is where we go and recover the old Warden Castle. I've done that. We've now got access to storage there. So in between streams, I've sold a bunch of crap out of inventory. I have stored a bunch of crap out of inventory, so our inventory's nice and low, which is great. Hey, Bright, thank you very much for the sound check. I always need a good sound check at the start of the session to make sure it's all working properly. So, we're all prepped. So tonight's session, we're going to try and get to know Leliana. So I want to talk to Leliana. Leliana's an awesome character. Last time I played this game, about 10 years ago, I romanced Leliana because I was playing a female elf mage. And Leliana is just awesome. Leliana has her own plot stuff within the game and her own little DLC. So I want to talk to Leliana and we'll explore her history and see what happens next. So hopefully this can be better. Fix cam, sorry about that. Hopefully that's better. There you go, now you can actually see the game properly. Especially when I point to things like my storage, my inventory being nice and low. Success. Cool, alright, so we're at party camp near Soldier's Peak. You always catch something from each other. Hopefully it's not too severe. Hopefully you can just rest and chill out and have some fun. Alright, so what do I want to do? Let's talk to Leliana first. Then I've got some gifts to give her, which also raises her rating.
Something I can help with?
I'd like to talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Why did you decide to come to Ferelden?
My mother was from Denerim, and I consider myself a Ferelden. Mother served an Orlesian noblewoman who lived here when Orlais ruled. When Orlais was defeated and the common folk began to resent the presence of any Orlesian, the lady returned to Orlais. She took my mother with her. I was born in Orlais and did not set foot in Ferelden till much later. Mother was always telling me stories of her homeland. I think she missed it.
Alright, so, because she's got the Orlesian accent, so she definitely grew up in Orlais as well. Why did she leave Ferelden then?
She had served Cecily, the Lady Cecily, for many years, and was loyal to her. Cecily was a good person. She was always kind to me. Mother died when I was very young. Lady Cecily let me stay with her. I had no one else. She was quite old then, and she had me study music and dance to entertain her. It is unfair that I have more memories of Cecily than my mother.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. What was Cecily like?
She was an elderly lady, very refined and proper. She had impeccable manners and taste, more so than a lot of Orlesian ladies. Cecily was also kind. My mother was unmarried and with child. It was scandalous, and Cecily had every right to turn my mother out. She didn't. Strangely, the only thing I really remember of Mother was her scent. She kept dried flowers in her closet amongst her clothes. Small white Ferelden wildflowers with a sweet fragrance. Mother called them Andraste's Grace. They were very rare in Orlais. But enough about that.
I think I've seen some of those flowers. Oh, no change in rating for that at all. She was not going to give us any points.
Something I can help with?
I'd like to talk to you about something.
What's on your mind?
Do you miss anything about Orlais? So Orlais being another continent, by the way. A bit like France, which is why all the Orlesians sound French.
I miss Val-Royeaux. Unlike other cities where the people are the lifeblood and the character, Val-Royeaux was her own person, and her people little more than decorations. There was always music in Val-Royeaux, streaming from the many windows, quiet refrains and triumphant choruses, and always, floating above that all, the chant, coming from the Grand Cathedral. It was magnificent.
Okay. Well, that does sound wonderful.
Oh, it would take me a day or two to talk about the many splendors of Orlais, her golden fields, her lush meadows. Of course there are good things and bad things about Orlais, like anywhere else. Sometimes I miss it dearly, and sometimes I'm glad I'm rid of it. And you will laugh at this, but I miss the fine things I had in Orlais.
What sort of fine things?
Dresses, fine dresses and furs, and shoes, of course.
Ooh, fancy.
One can't mingle with nobility with bad shoes, you see. Orlais is very fashionable, almost ridiculously so. But the shoes, living with those ridiculous trends was worth it for the shoes.
Really? The shoes? What's so special about shoes?
Well, they're shoes. They're pretty.
Jimmy
Some
Choos.
of them anyway. When I left Orlais, the fashion was shoes with delicate tapered heels and embellishments in the front. A ribbon, perhaps, or embroidery. In soft colors, of course. It was spring.
Well, I don't get it. I'm not I'm not into shoes. You've lost me.
Never mind. I just have a weakness for pretty shoes. It is so
Okay.
frivolous of me, I know. Oh, I could talk about shoes all day, but we have things to do, don't we?
We all have our weaknesses to things.
Something I can help with? Yes? What's on your mind?
Okay, I heard that in Orlais, minstrels are often spies.
Where did you hear this?
I don't know. Someone told me this a long time ago.
And you believe everything you hear? Not all minstrels are spies. Most are just singers and storytellers. But some of them are what we call bards.
Yes, but they also make good spies. Even Dandelion in The Witcher, he's a bard. He does some spying from time to time. Bernus, I think I agree with you. Leliana is the best waifu. In this playthrough, though, we're actually waifued up with Morrigan because I've never done that before. And yeah, Morrigan is very harsh and heartless, but we're trying to have a positive influence on her and soften her up a bit. But you know, we'll see what happens there because I've never seen that before. But Leliana, yeah, she's awesome. She's a sweetie. Okay, so are the bards spies?
Bards are minstrels and more. Spies, as you say. Some say there is a bard order, but I don't think this is true. Many bards work alone or in small groups, doing the bidding of a patron who pays for their services. If there is an organization behind it all, no one knows who they are.
Okay, patron, what sort of patron are you talking about?
Nobles, mostly. In Orlais, there is much rivalry amongst the highborn. They fight over land, influence, and the favor of the Empress.
Of
But
course.
they cannot do this openly because it is impolite, and in public, they wear smiling faces and pretend to be civil. In secret, they plot and scheme to destroy each other. It is a game completely meaningless to anyone but its players.
Just like in Game of Thrones, aka A Song of Ice and Fire. But it made a good TV show for the most part. Just skip some of the end bits. So you were a bard, weren't you, Leliana?
I have revealed too much, it seems, but it doesn't matter what I used to be. It is the past.
Okay, so why were you living as a cloistered sister in rural Ferelden?
I found myself in Ferelden and sheltered from bad weather in the Chantry. And when the storm passed, I just did not want to leave. I like to see the Maker brought me here.
Alright, so she's liked that interaction.
Something I can help with?
Oh, could you teach me to be a bard?
I don't think you have the correct aptitude. I could give
That's
you some
polite.
pointers, though. You may be able to pass them on to someone you know. Let's just go over there, away from the others. For safety, yes? I expect there shall be daggers flying about willy-nilly for a time.
Yes, especially with my bad singing. Cool, that's how you unlock the bard specialization for rogues to specialize into or build into. What is our Leliana friendship rating? Oh, it's pretty high. It's pretty high. But we've got some gifts, so let's just give her all
That's a wonderful
the Leliana gifts.
I don't
There you go, blue satin shoes. Here's some blue satin shoes for you, Leliana.
Oh,
You love
how
shoes?
dear of you. Thank you so much.
More Andraste
Oh,
symbols.
how dear of you. Thank you so much.
I'm not even sure I picked up half of these. Whenever I'm at a merchant, if there's gifts, I just grab them so I can give them to my party.
You. Thank you so much.
Alright, we'll keep this one. Oh, that's a plot item. Alright, we'll hold on to that one for the moment. Oh, and when you up the friendship rating, that's right, they get additional buffs. Bonuses. What has Leliana got now? She has... Nope, it must be in the skill section. Inspired, massive cunning. She's massively cunning now. She's our best friend.
Something I can help with?
I'd like to talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
You're not talking to me a lot. Tell me a tale, Leliana.
Alright. It is my job to spin yarns after all.
Do you know any Ferelden legends?
I know one. Told to me by my mother a long time ago. It always chilled me to the bone. Maybe you have heard of Flemeth?
Ooh. Flemeth? Well, Morrigan's mother was called Flemeth.
Are you sure? Was she the Flemeth of legend? Flemeth,
I think so.
The devourer of men. Flemeth,
Sounds right.
mother of witches.
Yep, that sounds
Flemeth,
right.
demon-touched, who dwells in the mists.
Yeah. She didn't really introduce herself as such.
Ferelden mothers scare their daughters with talk of Flemeth. They say that if you're bad, Flemeth will spirit you away and bind you to her forever. They also say that Flemeth mourns her lost beauty and will steal yours through your looking glass if she catches you.
So Flemeth was once beautiful.
Flemeth's beauty was known throughout the land. She had hair like unto a moonless night, skin as pale as winter's first snow, and eyes as beautiful and perilous as the sea. When she came of age, she came to the attention of the Lord of Highever, Conobar, and he took her for his wife. Conobar soon learned that his young bride had the gift of magic. He kept this a secret, for he feared that she would be taken from him. Flemeth stayed with Conobar for some years, and with his blessing, she practiced her art. And then one day, a young poet named Osen came to the castle. Flemeth was captivated by Osen's voice, and he by her beauty, and they fell in love.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so Snow White reinvented. Well, this game does borrow from a lot of stuff, but this is way better than Snow White. So, the plot thickens.
Flemeth longed to be with her true love, and she and Osen fled from Conobar's lands, seeking refuge in the Kokari wilds with the Chasing tribes. They lived there happily for many a year, till the day Flemeth received news that Conobar was dying and longed to see her face one last time. Flemeth's heart swelled with pity for the man who once was her husband, and begged Osen to return to Conobar's side with her. But when Flemeth and Osen entered Highever, they were captured by Conobar's men, and Osen was slain in front of Flemeth's eyes.
Oh, that's rough.
Flemeth was imprisoned in the highest tower of the castle, there to await Conobar's judgment on her. Distraught at the loss of her love, Flemeth plotted revenge against her husband. She summoned a fey demon, intending for it to wreak vengeance on Conobar. But a spell went awry. The demon possessed Flemeth. Turning her into an abomination, the halls of the castle ran red with blood as Flemeth slaughtered Conobar and all his men.
Right.
The last of Flemeth's humanity melted away, and at dawn, she stole back to the wilds to plot and scheme for 100 years. They say she took to her side many Chasing men, and with their help, begat her daughter witches, who even now prowl the dark places of the Kokari wilds.
That does genuinely sound like Flemeth and Morrigan's story, which we've covered already. Tell me about the Darkspawn.
Chantry lore says it is man's pride that created the Darkspawn. In ages past, the mages of the Tevinder Imperium ruled much of the world we know. In their pride, they thought their magics invincible and imagined that they were greater than the Maker himself. So thinking, they invaded his golden city, planning to take it for themselves and depose their own creator. But they were impure and full of sin, And it is with the sin that they tainted the Golden City, corrupting it forever. The Maker cursed them and cast them from his sight. Wherever they went, they spread the taint of their sin. Any land that was touched by the taint became blighted and would suffer no life. Instead, the Darkspawn arose to torment us and remind us of our hubris.
Oh, okay. Well, there was another story I wanted to
Which
hear.
one?
Shit, she's got fucking heaps of stories. Come on. Ugh. Well, what do you know about Andraste? Because we've just done the whole journey for Andraste's ashes not too long ago.
Andraste was the Maker's chosen. The Maker had long since abandoned the world when the sound of her singing turned his ear. Beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, and he offered to take her from this flawed world to become his divine bride. But Andraste had an earthly husband and would not forsake him. Instead, she beseeched the Maker to return to his people once more. So earnest was her plea that the Maker was moved, and promised that he would create a paradise on earth if all abandoned their false gods and turned once more to him.
That sounds about right.
Andraste began her exalted march on the idolaters of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker granted her his powers with which to smite her enemies. Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees, and her victories converted many to the worship of the Maker.
How did Andraste die, though?
Alas, it was the frailties of men that betrayed and killed Andraste. Her earthly husband, Maferath, a chieftain of the Alamari tribes himself, grew jealous as his wife's popularity and influence overshadowed his own. She was also revered as the Maker's betrothed, and Maferath began to see their own bond waning in significance as Andraste became ever more devoted to the Maker. Out of envy and spite, Maferath made a pact with the Archon Hysarian of Tevinter, allowing his beloved Andraste to be ambushed and captured. Andraste was burned at the stake in Minrathous, the capital of Tevinter.
Why did the Maker not save her with all his glorious power?
I have thought on this too. Did he withdraw his sight from her at that moment? Where were all the powers he bestowed upon her?
Yeah.
This question has come to me many times, and I have no answer. Perhaps there was no way for Andraste to return to the Maker but through her death. We will never know for sure.
Sounds like some other similar stories. Alright, tell me about the Dalish. Now, the Dalish are the sort of forest elves.
I have heard a little about how the elves gained their freedom from the Tevinter Imperium. When Andraste began her exalted march against the Imperium, the elves joined her cause to fight their masters. The great elven leader, Shatan, born in captivity, rose up to lead his people. He foresaw a future where the elves were free. Shatan was killed when Andraste was betrayed, but the elves continued to fight, eventually breaking free of the Imperium. The elves claimed the Dales in the south and settled there in a land of their own.
Okay, it didn't last though.
The elves lived in the Dales for centuries. They resurrected the worship of the elven gods and would allow the building of no chantry. This angered the chantry, and the hostility between the two factions finally broke out in open war. The chantry says the elves struck first, but I do not know whether to believe it. The chantry declared a wholly exalted march against the elves, named for Andraste's similar march against Tevinter. During the exalted march of the Dales, the elven cities were sacked, and the elven state completely dissolved.
Just like
Some
the
of
Crusades.
elves bitterly accepted their fates and surrendered to human rule, living in the human cities as second-class citizens. But others, still fiercely proud of their heritage, refused to bow to the humans, and instead became homeless wanderers. They were the elves of the Dales, the Dalish.
Alright, let's move on. Alright, we got some more bonus Leliana points for that.
Something I can help with?
Anything else we can talk to you about? Apart
What's
from
on your
stories? I've heard of some rumors about Orlesian spies.
There are many rumors about spies, Orlesian or otherwise. What are you referring to exactly?
That the female ones use skills of seduction.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. Honestly, yes. Why shouldn't I? Violence is not the only solution. People respond eagerly to others who they believe understand them. They seek approval, friendship, sometimes love. This can be exploited.
And this is better than violence?
You don't think it is? I took what I wanted from them, leaving them none the wiser and unharmed. It is a game, one that can be won with little bloodshed if one plays well.
So you thought it was a game?
Isn't it? Everyone can be seduced by the right woman. The trick is predicting who she is and becoming her. Master the game and no one can resist you.
Become your enemy's ultimate crush, hey? The ultimate waifu. And would you say that you've mastered this game?
If I might be so bold, yes, I was quite good at it. Sometimes, all I had to do was toss a glance and a smile. Men read promises into such things and will go to great lengths to see that promise fulfilled.
Well, maybe you could smile at this blight and tell it to go away.
I could... What? Oh, aren't you funny?
Yes.
I see your point. We will slay this darkspawn using conventional means, pointy sticks and all that. But come, it is getting late and there is much to be done.
It is getting late. So what happens if I give you this plot item? Not that one. Andraste's Grace. Yo, Courts, how you doing? I'm trying to trigger more of Leliana's character development stories, although I fear I might have to progress more through the story for it to actually work. But let's see. Let's give this to... Oh, no, not to me. That's not how it works. Leliana.
Flowers? Thank you. They're very pretty.
These are your mother's flowers, aren't they?
These were her favorite. I haven't seen these in such a long time. They smell just like Mother used to. Thank you. Thank you so much for remembering.
So, I'm guessing, therefore, we actually need to progress further through the story before Leliana will talk to us more. I was hoping that we could do her next piece of character development. Let's just do we'll travel to Denerim just to see if that triggers anything for her. Otherwise, my plan has failed.
Yes.
Indeed.
Currently up at Soldier's Peak. Go back to Denerim. Come on, Leliana, give us the goods. Develop your character with us. Yes, sometimes you need to advance, you know, main story stuff before we can unlock character story stuff. Let me talk to you now.
Something I can help with?
What do you know of this place?
Denerim is Ferelden's most important city, yes? This is the seat of power, the jewel in the crown of the king. She is Ferelden's heart. Her walls are strong, but within them lies so much beauty, just like the country and the people.
Let's talk about something else.
Something I can help with?
Don't think there's anything left to talk to her
What's on your
about.
mind?
Never mind.
I lied to you, you know.
Here we go.
About why I left Orlais.
Ooh. Why did you lie?
I didn't feel like talking about it then. What happened to me? Maybe it will affect us, maybe not, but you should know. I came to Ferelden and the Chantry because I was being hunted in Orlais.
Hunted? What for?
I was framed, betrayed by someone I thought I knew and could trust. Marjolaine. She was my mentor and friend. She taught me the bardic arts, how to enchant with words and song, to carry myself like a highborn lady, to blend in as a servant. The skills I learned, I used to serve her, my bard master, because I loved her, and because I enjoyed what I did.
Ooh, so Marjolaine was a bard as well?
She claimed to have retired. She married a noble and inherited his wealth when he died. To many she was just a rich widow. I thought I knew her. My devotion to her blinded me to her less than noble attributes. You can say it was my fault. There was a man I was sent to kill. I was to bring Marjolaine everything he carried. I don't know who this man was. She gave me a name and a description, and I hunted him down. I found documents on his body, sealed documents.
Important documents?
It turns out that they were. My curiosity got the better of me. Something told me that I needed to know what was in those letters. Marjolaine had been selling all kinds of information about Orlais to other countries, Nevara and Antiva among others. It was treason.
Ooh. Okay, but you're just in Orlais, though.
My life as Bard taught me that my loyalties should be kept fluid. My concern was not that she was a traitor, but that her life would be in danger if she was caught. Orlais has been at war with so many countries. It takes a harsh view of such things, as I later discovered.
What do you mean?
I should have left well alone, but I didn't. I had to tell Marjolaine I feared for her life. She brushed aside my concern. She admitted her guilt, but said it was in the past. That is why the documents had to be destroyed, she said. I believed her. I kept believing up till the moment they showed me the documents, altered by her hand, to make me look the traitor.
Oh dear. Who is they?
The Orlesian guards. They captured me. Terrible things to make me confess and reveal my conspirators. It was a traitor's punishment I endured. And at the end of it, all that awaited me was eternity in an unmarked grave.
That is not cool. How did you get out?
The skills Marjolaine taught me were good for something at least. I broke free when I saw the opportunity. I did not seek Marjolaine out. If she thought I was coming for her, she would have me caught again.
Alright, so you came to Ferelden and went to Lothering, where we met you.
I was tempted to confront her. I was furious, betrayed. But what could I do against her? And so I fled to Ferelden, to the Chantry and the Maker. Ferelden protected my person, and the Maker saved my soul. And that is the reason I am here. The real reason. No more lies between us, at least in this.
Oh, okay, that's good. Thank you for trusting me with this.
It feels good to have this off my chest. Thank you for listening and understanding.
Yeah, she has definitely had a rough past. Can we talk any further?
Something I can help with?
I'd like to talk to you about something.
What's on your mind?
Man, we can't ask any more. We have to, like, exit camp and come back again? Talk about Marjolaine. This quest should prompt a random encounter and starts a quest after you leave camp. Travel on the world map with her. Yeah, cool. That's alright. I want to try and focus all some of the character stories into one stream and singular episodes. I don't want it spread all over the playthrough because it's a bit harder to watch and follow what's going on. All right, let's venture back to Soldier's Peak.